Hey guys, what is up? Looks like Marvel has dropped some information. Specifically, Kevin Feige was in an interview with Entertainment Weekly. Now, I could read through the whole entire Entertainment Weekly article, but I feel like Variety, nicely of them, have broken down some of the main things that are worth talking about. And so, I would like to talk about it with you guys. And so, what we'll do is we'll read certain parts and we'll have a discussion about it, and I'll kind of talk about the things that he said, what excites me, what causes me some concern, and to let you know some things that are heading ahead when it comes to Marvel. So, Kevin Feige, the title of the article is Kevin Feige on Marvel's future, Spider-Man 4, story is locked, President Harris Ford, Blade film in 10 weeks or so, and more. So anyway, let's read a little bit of the article and we will discuss. Fans of Tom Holland's Peter Parker / Spider-Man are getting good news from the Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, who confirmed in a new interview with Entertainment Weekly that Holland's fourth Spider-Man film movie is now being written. Marvel had one of its biggest hits ever with Holland's third outing, Spider-Man: No Way Home, which became the first pandemic release to gross over $1 billion worldwide. All I will say is that we have the story, Kevin Feige said, about Holland's anticipated Spider-Man return. We have big ideas for that, and our writers are just putting pen to paper now. Pause. Am I excited about Spider-Man? Yes. Spider-Man was the last film that I personally have seen in theaters when it's come to the Marvel movies. If you're the first time watching this, I have chosen to take a break from Disney and Disney material for at least a year, and then I will decide if I will continue that break or not, depending on the content they do and then what they decide to do within their company. There's some personal reasons why I've chosen not to support them financially, and maybe that'd be a video for a different time. But anyway, am I excited about another Spider-Man film? Yes. Mainly because that's mainly done by Sony as part of the reason, but I am excited about a Spider-Man film. That was the last film that I was truly joyful about when it came to Marvel, and it seems to be the last one that was just genuinely a really great film. Do I trust the Marvel writers right now? Not totally, but I am interested to see who they will get to direct these new films and how they will portray the character now that he has become more like the Peter Parker that we know. I'm excited about that. I loved his suit in the recent film, and I am kind of curious what they'll do. Now, I will say this. We'll read this next thing, and the next thing would cause me concern. We'll get into it. Whether Holland will once again team up with Spider-Man actors Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield remains to be seen. Both actors have expressed interest in returning for a new Spider-Man movie. I do not want them coming back for the next Spider-Man movie. I want it to be about Peter Parker. Now, I think having Daredevil in there would be really cool. You know, someone like Daredevil or like a Punisher character could be really cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that, letting Peter Parker be this new street hero, writing himself into the universe as a street hero. I think would be great. I am okay not having all the Marvelisms in this next film. I would like it to be a more street level film. Let Spider-Man be a part of Secret Wars. Throw Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in those movies, in the King Dynasty and the Secret Wars film. Do that. I don't necessarily want them inside a Spider-Man movie. That's just me personally. Okay. But next, we get into Deadpool. Feige also confirmed to EW that Deadpool 3 will be the first R-rated movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Screenwriters Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick had previously said that Disney would not make Deadpool a family-friendly movie after the studio acquired Fox, which released two R-rated Deadpool movies that each grossed over $700 Yeah, $780 million worldwide. Deadpool 3 will team franchise mainstay Ryan Reynolds with Emma Corrin and Hugh Jackman reprising his X-Men role of Wolverine. Emma Corrin's going to be the villain. I don't really think they had to bring her up in this, but whatever. That's our first R-rated film, Feige said. To have Hugh come back is incredible. Feige wasn't a... Now, let me, before I hit on this part, because I can actually geek out about the next part, but let's just hit the first part first. Am I excited for Deadpool 3? Yes. Do I think Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds should have done a movie together already with these characters, and I'm great to see them? Yes. Do I think Hugh Jackman this is going to be his last one? No. I do think there's a point in this. I do think he's going to be in Secret Wars. It only makes sense that he'll be in Secret Wars to have some different characters and to kind of give them their own Marvel ending in a way that's really, really cool. I mean, everyone loves Logan and the way they ended that, but I think having a juicy comic ending for that character to say goodbye to him in a different kind of way, in a comic booky, exciting Secret Wars kind of way, will be really cool, and I'm definitely excited to see that. I've heard some things about, I believe this is Emma Corrin, who's supposed to be the villain, that concern me personally, but it all depends on who she's playing, so it could be cool, it could not be cool. I don't know. But it is cool to hear they're keeping it rated R, mainly because of the violence and the blood and the gore and the dark humor. I honestly, some of the other things that would make a movie R, I don't really think you need. And so leaving those things out, I don't think would affect the movie if it didn't have a gazillion F-bombs in it necessarily. But, I'm glad to see that I know at least it'll have the violence that we want to see from that movie. But anyway, this gets into some nerdy stuff that was just kind of cool. I want to bring it up. It talks about how Feige was an associate producer on Jackman's original X-Men movie in 2000. So having Jackman back as Wolverine and debuting in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a very full circle for the Marvel boss. Sorry. I remember sitting behind the camera, literally behind the camera, at Hugh's audition for the film, Feige said. It was his first on-set audition, and he flew up to Toronto to do a read with Anna Paquin. For him, and for me, I think for all the fans of Marvel, it's unbelievable what has happened in those 23 years. Elsewhere so we'll get on that in a second. So I just think it's cool, just the fact that how long Hugh Jackman has been playing this role. I think he has made that role his own, even though he doesn't technically fit some of the parameters that people expect from the Wolverine, that I do hope the next person that plays Wolverine has. But it is cool just to think about how long we've had these films and just how cool that really is, of how long he's played that character and how much for someone like me appreciates what he's done with that character. I feel like he really puts his heart into that character, and so I will always be appreciative of him for doing that. I think it's pretty awesome. The next part gets into Blade, which has had a lot of trouble. Elsewhere in the EW interview, Feige confirmed that Marvel's Mahershala Ali starring Blade movie will be filmed this year. Production on Blade hit a speed bump in 2022 when director Bassam Tariq exited the project in September. Jan Demanchy stepped in to helm the Vampire Temple. It's going well, Feige said about Blade. Our director Jan is down in Atlanta right now. Cameras roll in the next 10 weeks or so. So, do I believe it? Do I not? I don't know. Supposedly the script was really, really bad. Supposedly the director had a lot of issues and was like, you know what, bounce, I'm not taking this, I'm not doing this. So will this director be able to, level up this movie and give us a great Blade movie? I don't know. I know that Black Knight's supposed to be in the movie, and I really hope he does, because I think Marvel I don't know if they've ever done Black Knight right, in my personal opinion, with Black Knight. I've always seen Black Knight needing to be someone that needs to be a literal knight in our world. And a lot of times they take him back to like Camelot and all that stuff. But I want to see Black Knight putting on his armor with his sword, his ebony blade, and taking on vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. I personally think that'd be really dope to see in Marvel. And it would give him a different aesthetic that I think the comics could actually sell really well if he did something like that. If I ever wrote a Marvel comic, that's what I would do for Black Knight, if I ever did a Black Knight comic. But, so it's cool to see him, do a team up with Blade. I want this film to be good. I hope it is good. But it all just depends. It all just depends, and we will just we'll have to see. Now, the next part, which I think was kind of interesting. Feige also championed the upcoming Marvel debut of Harrison Ford, who is taking on the role of Thaddeus Ross in Captain America: New World Order. He's tireless with the amount of work that he does, Feige said about Ford. This is certainly a big part for Thaddeus Ross. He's the President of the United States in the film, and with Harrison, you think about Air Force One, and you think about some of his confrontations with the President in Clear and Present Danger. There's a dynamic between President Ross and Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson. They have a history together. But in this film, we'll be seeing the dynamic between Captain America and the President of the United States in a way that is just incredible. Now, it all depends, again, how they do this. Now, do I like the idea of juxtaposition between Anthony Mackie's Captain America and then Thaddeus Ross? Yes. But again, what philosophies are you trying to push in your movie? What politics are you trying to push in your movie? What initiatives, what messaging are you trying to push in your movie? Is your messaging coming before the story itself? That's going to depend on how much I care or don't care about this. Are you going to leave the questions up for the audience to decide? Or are you going to tell us as the audience what we have to believe, which is right and what is wrong? Clearly, Captain America Sam Wilson is our hero, but we still need to have the open door to maybe make these decisions for ourselves about what we believe and how we care about these characters. And I will say, if it turns into this thing where they're like insulting, Thaddeus Ross, or they're insulting specifically Harrison Ford in a way, belittling that actor to not let him have a chance to be the actor he's going to be, it makes me have some questions. So we'll just have to see how they do it. If they do a good job, I'm hoping they do. I have some issues with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I think my issues really with that comes from the fans either way. The fans on either side, I have some personal issues with about how they took that. But there's still some issues with that show. And so, we'll just have to see how the characters are written. But I do like that dynamic between Thaddeus Ross and Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson. I do find that interesting. So we'll just have to see. And then lastly, these last two ones. And these are probably the ones I'm least excited about. Disney and Marvel have not yet announced a second season of Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac, but Feige said there's a future for that character as we move forward. We also compare the upcoming Captain Marvel sequel, The Marvels, to the first Avengers movie. First part, and we'll read the next thing. Moon Knight, I loved how he looked. I liked the scenes where there was action with him. I did like to see that. I have some issues with some other things that they did with that character. The story for me was one of the first ones where I thought that they were really shoving their political ideology into how they wrote the story, and that really got on my nerves. I felt like the Moon Knight first season, that was the last show I really stuck to and watched. It really disappointed me. And And I felt like they were trying to tell more a story about the girl in the story, his wife, than they were really trying to tell about him as soon as she came into the picture. They never let him do anything really heroic. They never let him save her. And when he did save her, they blacked out and didn't even let us show what he did. So those things I kind of find annoying and irritating. That said, I think the character can be great if they chose, they make a better direction with that character. And so I'm open to see what they could do with him. Now, let's go ahead and get this one out of the way. The Marvels, comparing it to the Avengers movie. Man, okay. He says, there's something immensely powerful about seeing Monica, Kamala, and Carol together in a frame. To me, it's only akin to the Avengers movie, and seeing the 6 of them together in a frame, it's chill-inducing. Okay. Hot take, I only watched the first Miss Marvel episode, and I actually didn't think it was that bad. I actually thought it was pretty good. I just, it was around that time when I decided to kind of cut away from watching Marvel properties and Disney properties, and so I just kind of backed away from it. I didn't think it was that bad, but the one thing I will say, definitely wasn't the Kamala Khan that I've read in the comics. It wasn't the girl with the stretchy powers. And I actually don't have a problem with Kamala Khan Miss Marvel personally. I think my issue with Kamala Khan Miss Marvel comes down to who's writing the character and less about the character herself. It's one of the things, even though I have a lot of respect for like Eric Jalad, some of these other people, Kamala Khan's one of those characters I can kind of disagree with a little bit with them for just other reasons. But I will say that I genuinely don't mind the character. I liked Monica when it comes to WandaVision. I thought she did a good job, so I'm open to seeing her. Captain Marvel, I really didn't like. And the director, as openly, she had to like delete tweets because she talked about how much she hates like white people. So ironically, she may write Kara or handle Carol very terribly, which may make us like the movie more. I don't know. But, because I haven't liked how Carol was handled in Captain Marvel. That said, it's the one I'm feeling the most sus about, and I think this is just him trying to get us to go see the movie. It's kind of eye-rolly when he says this is compared to Avengers. It's like, okay, dude, slow your roll here, like, whatever. So, as far as the most excited and least excited, I have to say probably the least excited I am is about the Marvels. The next, probably sadly, deals with Moon Knight just because of the way they handled the character, but I am excited to see him come back again. After that, I do think the juxtaposition between Thaddeus Ross and Harrison Ford, or, Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Ross and Anthony Mackie as Captain America could be interesting. I just feel a little sus about it. I would probably put that above Blade. I think Blade I'm excited for, but again, feel a little sus. Definitely excited about Hugh Jackman and Deadpool. I'd probably put that maybe at the top. And then probably second place would go to Spider-Man. So, Deadpool, the most excited about. Next would be Spider-Man. After that, I guess it'll be the Thaddeus Ross, Harrison Ford conversation. That kind of makes me excited. Then I would say Blade. Then I would say Moon Knight. And then I would go Marvels. So, how would you rank that? What excited you the most about his comments? What are you thinking? Are you excited about the MCU right now? Are you annoyed with the MCU? Let me know down in the comments down below. And guys, whatever you're doing and wherever you're going, I hope you're having a good one. Peace.